स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। बुद्ध गगन के तारे,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे, परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
समर्थ बनाओ,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागो सारी दुर्बलता को राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ, बंधु भाव समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर शुभ संदेश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, 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 गीता परिवार हमारा।
मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरम्।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
तरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
कुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीथी मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी बरनौ रघुवर विमल जसु जो दायक फल चारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत तुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी, कंचन वरन विराज सुवेशा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा, हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे, शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन, विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिवे को आतुर, प्रभु चरित्र सुनिवे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया, सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा, भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे, लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हरषि उर लाए, रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई, सहस वदन तुम्हारो जस गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे, सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा, जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते, तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा, तुम्हारो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना, जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानु, प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही, दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते, राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे, सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना, आपन तेज संभारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे, भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे, नासै रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा, संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे, सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा, और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे, चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है, प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा, साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे, अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, सबर दीन जानकी माता, राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा, तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे, अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई, और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई, संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा, जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई, जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महा सुख होई, जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा, तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा, पवन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप, राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय।
Jai Sri Krishna. Jai Sri Krishna to each one of you who have joined here for the interpretation session. Bowing down to all our gurus before the start of the program. A warm welcome to all the sadhakas who have completed 7 chapters of Gita and moving on to the 8th chapter and have joined us for interpretation session of chapter 3, Karma Yoga. The yoga, karma, that is action. We need to do our duty, that is action, selflessly without expecting the results and submitting all our actions to the Supreme Paramatma. Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Second session of 4 sessions. We all are really blessed to be associated with Gita Parivar. Week after week, we are being enlightened with the meaning of Gita in detail and in simple language, sitting in the comfort of our homes. Now, it's time for prayer. Prayer is considered to be an integral part of our culture, and it's an expression of our devotion. And today, Sujata Bhaskarwarji from Chandrapur, Maharashtra, is going to recite the starting prayer. Didi is a homemaker. Didi is learning in L4 and is giving seva as technical assistant in all levels and is group coordinator. And she is in content sharing team 2. Didi is an electrical engineer and MBA in information technology and has been working in Polytechnic for the last 32 years. Sujata ji joined Gita Parivar in January 2022. Didi is interested in reading Gita, spiritual books, and historical books. Let's invoke the blessings of Lord Krishna. Sujata Didi, please.
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. जय श्री कृष्ण.
Thank you, Didi, for a beautiful devotional and a traditional what is that? Prarthana. It was really beautiful in your nath and the traditional dress. Thank you so much. Now, it's time for Deepa Prajwalan. Light symbolizes knowledge. Knowledge removes darkness. Hence, we light the lamp to bow down to knowledge as the greatest of all forms of wealth. May I request Chaitanya Gokhaleji for doing the honors of Deepa Prajwalan. She's a homemaker and a yoga instructor. Didi has completed L4 and is a trainer for L1 and L3. Didi, please.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you for the devotional and beautiful Deepa Prajwalan, Didi. Now, as you all know that there is a Geeta Sevi program tomorrow at 8:15 p.m. Kindly watch the program so that you will know what all sevas are available and you can choose the area of your interest. You will be given good training in whatever line you want to choose. So please do watch. Another information is, I'd like to inform all the participants that you may ask questions once the session is over. Raise your hands only after the session is over. Now, it's time for the most anticipated part of this session. Our speaker for the day is Vikas Vaidya ji from Pune. Vikas ji is a mechanical engineer and has done PGDBM also. He owns a small IT company. He's a multilinguistic with knowledge of Hindi, Marathi, English, Indonesian, Malaysian, and Spanish. He has been reciting all 18 chapters of Geeta daily for the last 5 years. I think that's awesome. And is a trainer for L1 to L4 and trainer's trainer for all levels. He is also involved in teaching and Vivechan of Vishnu Sahasranamam. Vikas ji also gave guidance to Geeta Vratis to prepare for Sringeri Peeth Geeta exam. Vaidya himself has received first prize at the hands of Param Pujya Jagat Guru Shankaracharya. Over to you, Vikas ji.
कृष्ण पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमल में कोटि कोटि नमन. We are studying Adhyay 3rd. Last time we studied Shlok 1 to 11. Some very important shlokas for us to guide in life. Karmendriyani Sayyamya Ya Aste Manasa Smaran Indriyarthan Vibhudatma Ithyacharasa Uchyate. So all those shlokas we studied in last session. Today we start from Shlok number 12. Ishtan Bhogan Hivo Deva Dasyante Yajna Bhavitaha Tairdattana Pradayebhyo Yo Bhunkte Stena Eva Saha. Stena means thief, chore. Paramatma is calling us chore. Why? Ishtan is the desired. Bhogan is whatever necessities for you to perform your prescribed duties towards those demigods as well as towards the world. Deva is those demigods whom these people are worshipping. Dasyante, to keep giving on. Dan, to keep giving on. Dattan, things that are given to you. Dattan. So this shloka says in short that those demigods who are worshipped by these other devotees, being satisfied by your performing yajna, the demigods will keep giving you without your asking all necessities of life so that you continue performing the yajna. Yajna means your prescribed duties. So you perform your prescribed duties towards those demigods, they shower with you with their blessings, and then they provide you enough necessities of life so that you can continue to perform your prescribed duties towards those demigods as well as towards others. But Paramatma says further, who enjoys such rewards, blessings from demigods for his own self, for his own selfish purpose, for his own self-development only without bothering for demigods as well as for the other people, such a person is called a thief. So whatever is given by the nature, whatever is given by the demigods, we have to use it for them as well as for others, not for our selfish intent. Not with selfish intent, we use it for ourselves. So mind you, these demigods means not the mythological characters with different attires, but we see in TV serials or in cinemas. They are not demigods. They are the characters. Devata, demigods, refers to the divine forces, the transcendental, the celestial forces which are involved in creation and maintenance of this world. Shri Krishna says, when you respect and nurture these forces, these divine forces, the demigods, they shower upon you the benediction, the favors, the blessings without your asking. You do your work and then they do their work of showering the blessings on you. For example, how the nature keeps showering the blessings on us. You sow a seed, one seed, and in return, you get thousands of fruits for years. You see, the mango tree that gives you mangoes year after year was planted with just one seed few years ago. And for many years, it keeps giving you delicious fruits for you and for your next generation as well. So you don't have to ask for fruits from the tree. It gives you naturally. Likewise, if you feed cow and look after her needs, you don't have to ask for milk from the cow. The cow will give you without your asking for it. So these divine forces, if you take care of them, if you worship them, if you follow your prescribed duty towards them, they shower on you in abundance without your asking. So when you look after Prakriti, when you don't abuse it or exploit it, then this very Prakriti looks after you. It nourishes you, it cherishes you. But the world reality is people are abusing the nature and the natural resources. In the greed of increasing the harvest, the farmers use dangerous chemicals, causing irreparable damage to the soil and to the earth. This shloka gives you advice that the mankind should never go against the laws of nature. We are seeing the results of going against the nature by nature's fury in the form of earthquakes, tsunamis, floods, droughts, dramatic climate changes like this. Now we see every day. It rains any time of the year. It is raining now. Is it the time to rain? But it rains any time now. And not to talk of the global warming, which may result in submerging of several islands, even several countries in future. So we are abusing the nature. Nature will show you what it can do. To avoid such frightening prospects that the Lord is saying, respect the nature, respect the divine forces. And if you do so, they in turn will nurture, shower on you with manifold benedictions, favors, blessings, prosperity, everything. So this is a lesson for us again from Shri Krishna. We go to next shloka, shloka number 13. Yajnashishtashinas santo muchyante sarvakil vishaihi Vainjate titvagham papa ye pachantyatma karanat. Yajna shishta. Shishta means the remaining. The food that is remaining after you perform the yajna. You offer the food to the yajna and whatever is remaining, that food. Ashina. Ashina is the one who is eating. Muchyante, to get free, to get relief. Kilbishai. Kilbishai is sins, papa. Bhunjate, to enjoy. Adham. Adham is sins. Papa is those who are committing those sins, that means papis, sinners. Atma karanat, only the self. So Paramatma says in this shloka that the devotees of the Lord who first perform the yajnas, yajnas means their prescribed duties. So those who perform the prescribed duties first for the demigods and others, and then remaining karma for themselves. So fulfill your prescribed duties first towards the demigods and towards the other people in the world, and then whatever is remaining, you do it for yourself. Such people get released from all kinds of sins. But others, the word-to-word meaning of this shloka is the others who cook the food for themselves and they eat themselves that food, they are eating sins. They are eating papa. In short, people who are performing the duties only for themselves, they are committing a sin. Paramatma says. So whatever has been given to you by nature, by Prakriti, it is to be used for those demigods, for the natural, for the nature, for the divine forces, as well as for others, not for your selfish things. Life is a yajna. This world, this entire creation of Paramatma is a yajna, which means all that is happening is the Lord's Leela. That is the divine play of Paramatma. Hence, all your actions should be geared up for achieving that higher goal, higher ideal, the higher objective. Why are we here on the earth? To attain the highest state of consciousness. Why are you born? To break the shackles of birth and death. So you have to go higher and higher. See, every living being has a purpose. Every plant, every tree is evolving, wanting to ascend, to go higher and higher. That is why, although you plant the seed under the ground, the sapling springs upwards and grows in a tree as if it wants to reach the sky. It goes high and high. Likewise, every human needs to take care. We need to take care and take efforts for progressing, for going higher and higher. And all those who are doing this particular principle, following this particular principle of going higher and higher in their life, they are called sadhak, explorers, strivers. The entire world is a divine game. And there is just one goal for us to achieve, which is to evolve our consciousness, our chetana, to the great levels. Chetana everybody has, but we have to achieve the great levels of that chetana. The Lord is saying to consider every aspect of your life as a yajna. Consider your whole life as a yajna. Be it eating, be it sleeping, or any other activity. Hence, whatsoever you do, whatsoever you receive, first offer it to the deities, to the divine forces. Not to those TV characters, what you see, but to the divine forces. In olden times, people would follow a tradition wherein some portion of the cooked food would be kept aside just in case some guests drop in. The first roti, chapati, would be kept aside for the cow, the second for the birds, and third would be kept for Brahmin. Brahmin means not by caste, but the one who was learned and imparting knowledge is called Brahmin. So the first fruit of the tree, the first crop of the harvest would be offered to the divine first. Farmers still do it. The tradition has died in modern times, except for some people, they still follow this practice. Those who earn for themselves are no better than pigs. The Lord says, whatsoever you receive, you attain, first offer it to the deities, to the divine forces. Eating without offering the food to divine, without offering your prayers of gratitude is indeed a sin. God says, then you are not eating food, you are eating sin. You ought to respect the food on your dining table, thank your stars, and express your utmost gratitude. For there are millions of people on this earth who starve to death for want of little food. We see in Africa, young kids dying because they don't get food. So we should thank our stars, and we should thank the divine forces that they are giving us this favor, these blessings year after year, and we are getting our food on our dining table. Once a sage was offered some mangoes, the sage kept gazing at the mango. This is a little story. One sage, he was offered mango by one of the devotees. That sage, he kept gazing at the mango for the fruits for a long time. The devotee said, Swamiji, I brought these sweet mangoes for you. Why didn't you eat it? The sage replied gently, I am looking at the remarkable journey made by this fruit. Someone planted the seed years back. Someone had taken the care of the plant for several years, and it would have taken so many years for the tree to grow and bear the fruits. It is even remarkable that this fruit, which is there in my hand now, which could have been eaten by some birds when it was on the tree, or it could have been eaten by some child, or raised to the ground due to some stormy wind. Somehow it withstood all the odds and reached the market, traveling a long distance where you purchased it for me. So what an incredible journey, tedious journey this fruit has undergone. Such respect, such gratitude. Before eating that fruit, the Mahatma thought of so many things. In this context, it is said in Ayurveda that if you take any part of the plant, Ayurvedic plant I mean, for medicinal purpose, without first offering your prayer to the tree, then your herbs will simply not work. This has been the rich tradition of India. This is the sattvic, virtuous way of living life, which is taught to us. On the contrary, the tamasic people would be, as soon as they see water, they readily drink it. They see fruits, they mindlessly pluck the fruits from the tree and eat it. See the food and they greedily gulp it down. Complete lack of awareness. And here, Shri Krishna is teaching us to lead a life full of prayers and gratitude. Whatever is given to you, offer your prayers, express your gratitude. This is the way of life we are supposed to live. Be grateful, be respectful, and make sure that prayers become an integral part of your life. This is Bhagavad Gita, an encyclopedia on how to live the life. Let us follow these principles in our day-to-day life. Let us go to Shlok 14 now. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyad danna sambhavaha yajnad bhavati parjanyo yajna karma samudbhavaha. You may think this is a strange shloka. Annat means from the food grains. Bhavanti, grow. Bhutani, all living entities. In short, the meaning of this shloka is, from food, creatures come into being. Creatures are born, all living entities are born from food. From rain, the food is produced. And from yajna, that means your performance of prescribed duties, comes the rain. Now this is a strange line. By performing yajna, will the rain fall? Are we spreading some blind faith? And further, Paramatma says, yajna is born out of karma. Yajna is born out of action. What does it all mean? Shri Krishna says, all living beings survive on food. That is, we accept without any argument. And in effect, we are born from food. How we are born from food? You see, the sperm and the ova present in male and female are formed of the nutrients absorbed by male and female from the digested food. We eat food, male produce sperm and female have that ova. That leads to formation of embryo, and it is again food that sustains the growth of that embryo. Even after birth of baby, it is the food which enables that baby to grow into a child and then into adulthood. So food is the basic reason behind the existence of all the creatures, all the living entities. Everything is fine. But rain falls due to yajna. Are we spreading some blind faith? No. Bhagavad Gita never believes in spreading such blind faith. As we know, in Gita, yajna means your prescribed duty, kartavya karma. This simply means if men perform their duty, the gods will perform their duty by nurturing them through rain. In this context, there's a small, so as to say, anecdote, a small story. Once in a village, the astrologers of that village, they predicted that this year there won't be any rains. And all should be prepared for the drought. No rains. Dry season, totally. So they said, now we have done our duty of telling this to you based on our knowledge. Now you have to plan in advance what you want to do. We have done our kartavya karma of telling you this. We have done perform our prescribed duty. Then came the month of June, the monsoon month. The farmers of the village, they came together and they said, the astrologers have done their duty. Now what is our duty? Come the month of June and we start keeping our fields ready for sowing the food grains, the seeds, sowing the seeds. And then wait for the rains. Astrologers have performed their prescribed duties. Our prescribed duty is to keep the field ready for sowing. So why we should shy away from our prescribed duties? So they started keeping their fields ready for sowing. Seeing them working in the field, the peacocks more in the forest, they said, oh, now we have to perform our duty of getting ready to welcome the rains. The farmers are working in the field. That means the rains are to come. And what is our duty? To welcome the rains. And then they spread their wings and started singing and dancing, as we see the peacocks. Seeing them dancing and singing, the clouds in the sky, they said, astrologers have performed their prescribed duty. The farmers have performed their prescribed duties. Even the peacocks have performed their prescribed duties. Now it is our time to perform our prescribed duty. And what is our duty? We have no instructions to rain, but for thundering, we don't need anybody's instructions. Then the clouds started thundering. When Indra, the rain god, he heard clouds thundering, he realized that the astrologers, the farmers, the peacocks and clouds have all performed their kartavya karma. Now it is time for the god, for me, to get on to my job and perform my duty. And then he ordered the clouds to start the rains. So this is how, if we perform our duty, our prescribed duty, the gods will be forced to perform their prescribed duty. We don't do our duty and we keep blaming the god. This is how the god expects all to perform their duties and help running this Srishti Chakra, the universal cycle, smoothly. Yajna gets performed when everyone performs his respective prescribed duty. Yajna karma samadbhavaha. Yajna is formed because you perform the karma. So this is another lesson for all of us. Let us go to the 15th shloka. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samadbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yajna pratishtitam. Karma. Brahma here means Vedas. Udbhava, to come from, to get produced. Vidhi, vidhi is to know. You should know. Samudbhavam. Samudbhavam means to come directly from. Tasmat. Tasmat means that's why, therefore. Sarvagatam. Sarvagatam, available at all places, all pervading. Pratishtitam. Pratishtitam is getting situated, present. And Brahma here means the Paramatma. So in short, this shloka says, Paramatma says to Arjuna, that Arjuna, you should know that karma are prescribed in Vedas. Vedas, they prescribe the kartavya karma of each individual for all of the roles that individual is supposed to play. Vedas, that is the wisdom. Vedas means not the books, but Vedas, that means the wisdom, it comes directly from the Paramatma. Akshara Brahma, that is what this shloka says. Akshara Parabrahma is the creation of wisdom, creation of Vedas, creator of Vedas. Therefore, you must know that Paramatma is present with you when you are performing your prescribed duty. Because Vedas describe the karma, your kartavya karma, your prescribed duty, and Vedas are coming from Paramatma directly. So if you are performing the instructions of Paramatma as laid down by him in the Vedas through the wisdom, that means Paramatma is with you when you are following his instructions, his duty, his prescribed duties. If you are following your duties, never think you are alone. Always think God is with you. So in effect, God is performing the foremost yajna, the consequence of which is this entire creation. And this yajna is not bound by time. It is happening continually, unceasingly for crores of years. Living beings are born, then they die, and then they are reborn. The creation is followed by destruction, which is followed by creation again, and thus this cycle goes on and on and on. Performance of actions for one's own self and assumption of affinity to that insentient body are the obstacles in our objective of God realization. Paramatma says, keep performing your prescribed duties. So when we are performing our duty towards our parents, our mother and father, Paramatma says, I am there with you. I am there with you. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahma akshara samudbhama tasmat sarvagatam brahma nitya yajna pratishtham. That the Brahma is nitya, always present when you are performing your kartavya karma. So this gives a great confidence to us in performing our prescribed duty. When we are doing our duty, we discussed this many times, what are our duties? Always think that God is with me, I am not alone. When you see God as your partner in performing your duty, what kind of moral boost you will get? So Geeta is teaching such wonderful principles to us to get involved in our karma wholeheartedly, with dedication. Knowing that God is with you, how can you lack dedication? No way. Now, when we get attached to body, these obstacles get removed when the duty is performed or prescribed duty is performed without expecting any reward or return. And when we perform duties for the welfare of others, in this way, you rediscover the God which is already existing, established in you. Nityam pratishtatam. He is there in you, you rediscover it when you perform your prescribed duty. So this is the way to realize the God within you when you perform your prescribed duty without expecting anything in return. Then you rediscover the God which is already existing in you. Nitya yajna pratishtatam. Okay, we go to next sloka now, 16. Evam pravartitai chakran nanuvartayati hayah aghayurendriya ramo mogham partha sajivati. Evam means like this. Pravartitam. The routine going on since beginning of this Srishti, of this universe, as described in Vedas. Chakram is the cycle, the universal cycle. Anuvartayati means to follow, to adopt. Indriyaram. This is an important terminology. Indriyaram. A person who is satisfied, absorbed all the time only in sense gratification is Indriyaram. Mogham is useless, purposeless. Jivati is to live. Now Paramatma says in this sloka to Arjuna, it is the duty of human beings to perform the prescribed duties. Fine. To keep the smooth running of this universal cycle. So we perform our prescribed duties to help, to assist Brahma, Parabrahma, the creator of this universe, to smoothly run the universal cycle, the universe that he has created. Those who do not follow this law of universe, for them, Paramatma is saying this shloka. Evam pravartite chakra nanuvartayati haya aghayurendriya ramo mogam parsas jivati. It means one who in this world does not follow the universal cycle, the Srishti Chakra. By avoiding performance of prescribed duties mentioned in Vedas, that person who is engaged only in sense gratification, Indriya Sukh, he always lives a life full of sins and his life goes in vain, useless. Mogham Parthas Jivati. His life is useless. He is living the life for nothing. He is a good for nothing character. So you see, you have to adopt to the laws of nature, those divine forces, to the cycle of life and not vice versa. Shri Krishna says that for one who thus lives in complete harmony with the nature, with those divine forces, his karmas will not bind him anymore. On the contrary, the one who uses this world as no more than a tool for sense gratification, for only Indriya Sukh. He thinks that the body, mind, intellect, senses are all given to me by God only for enjoying the life. He is involved only in sense gratification. That fellow is in effect living the life of scenes, papa. Such people are called Indriya Ram. That means they are enslaved to senses. Indriya Ram are the people who are enslaved to their senses. Indriyon ke gulam, Indriya Ram. You see, human beings and animals have four similarities: Ahar, Nidra, Bhay, and Maithun. There is a shloka. Samanyamitat Pashubhir Naranam. Dharmo hi tesha madhiko visheshaha dharmena hinaha pashubhi samanaha. In short, it means that eating, sleeping, fear, and sex. Ahar, Nidra, Bhay, and Maithun. Sex. Eating, sleeping, fear, and sex. These are the four similarities between human beings and animals. Human beings have only one special extra thing given by the God, that is our dharma. Dharma means not Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai dharma, but dharma means our kartavya karma, our duties. If they don't use this extra thing given to them, then there is no difference between human beings and animals. Ahar, Nidra, Bhai, Maithun, they also do, we also do. But then, if we don't use our dharma, we don't follow our dharma, then there is no difference between human beings and animals. In short, be in tune with the natural laws is beneficial for all of us. For example, waking up early in the morning, say between 4 and 5, doing your asanas and pranayam, sleeping by 10 o'clock, and having your evening meal at least 4 hours before sleeping is all good for your health. Basically, in the early morning, there is an increase of negative ions of oxygen, which impart good health. This is the reason you feel so good and fresh when you go to the mountain tops or near the waterfalls, because there is marked increase there in the negative ions of oxygen. And this is one reason why sadhus and monks, they prefer to live at higher altitude. You go to Uttarakhand, you see so many sadhus living on the top of hills, because these negative oxygen ions, they impart good health, which is crucial for performing any spiritual practices. Now, the Paramatma has given us this mind, body, intellect, senses, everything. It is for us where we use this. We become Indriya Ram and spend our whole life in only sense gratification, or we use some constructive use of these four things given by God. You see, the grapes, we see they can be used for making those kishmish, manuka, or the same grapes can be used for making wine. Similarly, body, mind, intellect can be put to doing some sattvic pious karma, or can be engaged in material pleasures or sense gratification. And then with this, we live a sinful life, Paramatma says. What you want to do is your own choice. You want to apply your body, mind, and intellect in sense gratification and live a life full of sins, or you want to do some sattvic pious karma and get engaged in your connection with Paramatma. The choice is yours. Because it is your body, because it is your intellect, because it is your mind. So how to use it is your choice. Paramatma doesn't force anyone for doing anything. He is just showing a mirror to us. Bhagavad-Gītā never forces people to do something. It is showing the mirror to us. If you do this, this will happen. If you do that, that will happen. You decide what to do. I am showing the mirror to you. Both options are given. We have given the freedom to do the karma as per our choice. That's why even after reading all so much of Adhyatma, people still commit Rajasic and Tamasic karma, because the freedom is given to you. It is not forced upon you that you read Gita and you do only Sattvic karma. Paramatma says, you read Gita, but I am not forcing anything on you. You have to understand Gita, and then you will be tempted to do only Sattvic pious karma. You will never go to Rajasi and Tamasi karma if you understand Gita well. But Paramatma never forces. He never thrusts his opinion on us. Me mataha. In Bhagavad Gita, so many shlokas says, this is my opinion. Paramatma says very politely, this is my opinion. Me mataha. You may have different opinion. This is the humility of Paramatma. Okay, now let us proceed on to the next shloka, Shlok 17. We studied in Shlok 16, Paramatma has described the character called Indriyaram. Evam pravardita chakran nanu vardayati hayah agahir Indriyaramo mogam parthas jivati. We saw how he behaves. Now Paramatma is explaining the attributes of his dear devotee, which is called Atmaram. So we saw the Indriyaram. Now we see the traits of Atmaram in Shlok number 17. Yastvatmaratireva syad atmatruptascha manavaha atmanyeva santushtas tasya karyanna vidyate. Karyanna vidyate. What a statement. Karyanna vidyate. He has no duty to be performed. Karyanna vidyate. The Lord says, one who is blissful in his own self, Atma. Satisfied within self, Atma. For him, there are no obligatory duties for such a self-realized person. Why no duties? Because his duties have become a part of his life. Let us try this game sometime. I tried it and I found it very interesting. You can also try it. Next time when your spouse starts fighting with you, happens. Nobody can say, no, it doesn't happen. It does happen. On some issue, in a fit of anger, the spouse is angry with you and fighting with you. Don't get involved. Don't get involved. Just watch the whole show with detachment. It is a live show, as per the screenplay going on in the mind of your spouse. So just enjoy. Sometimes, if you expect your son to behave in a particular way, that is as per the screenplay running in your mind. But your son walks in, when that screenplay is running in your mind, your son walks in and he starts uttering some dialogues as per the screenplay running his own mind. So there are conflicting screenplays running at all times. Just be a witness and witness all the drama that is unfolding around you. The day you realize yourself, your real self, I mean, the day you will get established in your divine I. How will you know that I am established in my divine I? We'll see at the end of this. The day you will love your own pure self, the day you will contemplate on nothing but on your real self, the day you will get supremely satisfied with your own self without any external help, no material world. Get satisfied within yourself, by yourself, without any external help, without external factor. From that moment, there will be no obligatory duties for you. Because you have found the satisfaction within yourself. People keep performing duties for the material world because they think that by doing this, I will get satisfaction. I want to earn more money because I will be more satisfied in my mind. Does it ever happen? I want to buy a car so that I will be more satisfied in my mind. Does it ever happen? It remains for 10 days, 15 days, 1 month at the most. After that, it becomes a matter of routine. You don't get any enjoyment. You don't get any anxiety of having your own car. It has already happened past. So nothing is permanent. That joy is not permanent. Now, when Paramatma says no duties for you, there are no obligatory duties for such a person who has found the joy within himself, by himself. For him, there are no prescribed duties. Now, does it mean that you stop eating early in the morning? You stop doing meditation? Does it mean that I can eat as much as I want? Or does it mean I can sleep for as many hours as I want? No, it does not mean that. What it means is that one who has lived his life in accordance with and in harmony with the divine sources, the divine forces and the nature, for such a person, getting up early in the morning is no more a punishment. It has become a part of his life. It is a part of his daily routine. It has become a source of joy for him. It is no more a punishment for him. It was punishment when he was new. But now when he's getting up early in the morning and doing some meditation, it is a source of abundant joy for him. Eating more and sleeping more does not make him joyful at all. Meditation, it does not remain a compulsion on him now. Rather, his every moment, he is effortlessly filled with that meditation. He does not have to remember the God at certain time of the day. At 9 o'clock, I will sit for puja in front of God and then we'll pray God. No such binding on time. Because the remembrance of God occurs spontaneously with every of his breath. When you don't have to say your prayers, rather the prayers happen instinctively and unceasingly in you. If this is happening, then these are the signs that you have now become established in and satisfied with your own self. These are the signs. You see, there are two types of men we discussed. One was Indriya Ram. In shloka, earlier shloka, Evam Pravarti Chakra Nanuvarti Yatiyaya Aghayur Indriya Ramo Mogam Parsa Jivati. That was the traits of Indriya Ram. Now, in this shloka, God is describing his dear devotee, the Atma Ram. This Atma Ram is all the time busy in making sure that the Srishti Chakra, the universal cycle, the Srishti created by his Lord, by the Creator, by Paramatma, keeps running smoothly, and he keeps contributing his best for that. He does not have to see outwards for happiness and satisfaction. He has found that within himself, by himself, without any outside material help. And he contributes in the best possible way through his mind, intellect, body in the running of this Srishti Chakra, universal cycle. This person has no demands. He has no desires. Atmananda, there are several such Atmananda we have seen in our Adhyatma stories. King Bhartrahari, the elder brother of King Bhoj of Ujjaini, was one such Atmaram, Bhartrahari. In his old age, he would do any activity to help the needy and poor. Once, Parvati Devi got pleased with him, the way he was conducting his life by helping the poor and the needy. She appeared in front of him and she said to Bhartrahari that I am very happy with you. The way you are helping the needy and poor, the way you are living your life, I am extremely pleased the way you are conducting your life. Ask anything that you want. You can ask anything that you want. Bhartrahari smiled and politely said to Parvati Devi, Devi, I don't want anything. I have everything. I have everything that I need. I don't want anything. But Parvati, she insisted that now she has come here all the way. She will not go back empty-handed without giving him something. You will have to accept something from me, Parvati said. You will have to accept something from me. Bhartrahari tried again and again, but he failed. Finally, he said, okay, if you're insisting that I should get something from you, I am stitching this blanket from the old torn clothes so that I can give it to people who need it in winter. So he was stitching some blankets from the old cloths. You know, these days also old saris of ladies, they use it for stitching the blankets which provide you warmth in the winter. Very soft they are. The children specifically love it. When they get such kind of blanket from their grandma, they love this kind of blankets. So Bhartrahari was stitching such blanket from the old torn cloths, and then he said to Parvati, if you really want to do something for me, while talking to you, when I was stitching these blankets, the thread is all finished. Please take this needle, please take this thread and help me to put this thread in the needle. If you do that, I'll be more than happy. This is Atmaram. The God is standing in front of you, but you have nothing to ask even from the God. Strange. So these are the Atmaram. That means the Atmaram does not need anything even from the God. Knowing fully well that the material pleasures he may be showered with is not permanent. knowing that the position, the money, the fame, the honor, the respect are all temporary. They're all temporary things. He is deeply engrossed in his own self and is extremely happy by himself within himself. This Atmaram is very satisfied all the time. He has nothing to get or nothing to achieve. He has no desire, no expectation. He never thinks he is short of anything. And therefore, there is no running around like we do, or there is no anxiety in his mind at any time. And then, what type of obligatory duties he will have to do? His intellect, his soul is already so much refined that he has no obligatory duties left for him now. Nothing. Even then, he keeps doing Nishkam Karma like that Bhartruhari king was doing. So such Atmaram, they are satisfied within themselves, but they still keep doing Nishkam Karma for the benefit of others. Okay, we go to next shloka, shloka number 18. Naiva dasya krute inartho, na krute neha kaschana, na chas sarva bhuteshu, kaschidharthavyapashrayaha. No, that is never. Krutena. Krutena is to do your duty. Akrutena, without discharging the duty. Akrutena and akrutena, opposite. Sarva bhuteshu, all the living beings. Vyapashrayaha. Vyapashraya, that means the Swarthaka Sambandha, business deal, agreement. You do this, I do this. You do that, I do that. Exchange of things, business-like. So Paramatma says in this shloka that such a person means the one which we saw in the 17th shloka, that Atmaram, Yastvat Martarivasya Datmatuptashtamanavaha, Atmanyavita Santushta Sasya Karyana Vidyate. That person, that Atmaram, has no purpose of gain in this world by performing any action, any karma. Nor does he lose anything by not performing the karma. He is not dependent on anyone for anything. You see, this devotee Atmaram, who has discovered the new joy in the soul by deep meditation or devotion, is completely satisfied. He has found within a perfect happiness. He has achieved the purpose of life. He has fulfilled the duty for which he was born. In reuniting himself with the God, he has automatically discharged all his obligations to the creation. What is left then? So there are no actions, no fruits of action, and no bondage of action. The person is a free spirit. Such a person has no vested interest in the world, nothing to gain, nothing to lose. And nor does he have any need to depend on any other living being. And thus, he is no longer a slave of any relationship. We get enslaved to our relationship. In contrast, all ignorant people like us, we are enslaved to one or the other. Children are dependent on their parents, the husband is dependent on wife, and vice versa, of course. Why? Because everyone needs something from the other. Let us accept it. Everyone needs something from the other. Moreover, they do karmas with selfish intent. Most of the human beings, they do karmas with selfish intent of expanding the wealth, and that puts the mind and body of such people in great stress. And that great stress is then followed by many diseases. Probably in this last few days of his life, then he realizes that man who has been running after all material things in life, throughout his life, causing immense stress on him, causing so many diseases coming into his body and mind. At the end of life, when he is lying on his bed, he realizes that he did not do anything for the Almighty in his life. He did not do anything for the Paramatma in his life. But then it is too late by then. The train of spiritual evolution has already left the station long back. You are late, boss. You are very late. Try to bring Krishna's words into practice. Remember that this entire creation is a yajna. Every part of this creation is doing karma, and you too have to join to this yajna. You cannot remain without doing any karma and without participation in this yajna karma of Paramatma. Okay, we go to next shloka, slok number 19. Tasmadasaktas sadadang karyang karma samachara asakto yacharan karma paramapnoti purushaha. Tasmat, that's why, therefore. Asakta, asakta means without attachment. Karyam, karyam the prescribed duty. Acharan, acharan is your behavior, performance. So Paramatma says in this shloka that therefore, Arjuna, perform your duty efficiently, skillfully, without attachment. For by actions without attachment, man attains the supreme. He attains the supreme gati when he performs his actions without attachment and without expecting the return reward. See, when we are born, we are provided with body, mind, intellect, sense by the nature, by Prakriti. Using this property of nature, that is the world, we earn and create property and riches from this very world. We did not bring it. We created it from this world only, no? So it also belongs to the world only. And when we leave this world, we have to leave all that body, mind, intellect, senses, property, riches, whatever you have done. Here only. You don't carry anything with you. That means we were provided with this material of body, intellect, senses and all that in the same way like a new employee, for example, a clerk in office is provided an office table, office chair, stationery, PC for working in the office, for doing the office work. It does not mean that it is his. It does not mean that it is given to him for doing his personal work. It is given to him temporarily for doing office work. As the clerk is paid for doing this office work, similarly, when the striver, the devotee, he works for the world, renouncing all selfish intent. That means not working for self, like the clerk is not expected to work for himself, but for work for the office. Similarly, this devotee, he has renounced all selfish intent and works for others. That clerk is working for the office. Then he gets the salary. The clerk was getting the salary in the office. Now this devotee, he gets rewarded by getting identified with the God. This unity with God is the reward that he gets of his service. The world is the field for practicing spiritual discipline. It is not for enjoyment of your senses. Whatever material has been provided to us, Shri, Indriya, Man, Buddhi, here is for practicing the spiritual practices rather than for pleasures and property. It is neither ours nor for us. If and when we gain our objectives, there is that supreme bliss, Atmananda. When we get that God realization, self-realization, then nothing remains to be gained thereafter. We have been rewarded adequately. A karma yogi who, without assuming a thing of his own and for him, uses it in order to render service to others. That karma yogi, he gets liberated from the world bondage. As he is devoid of attachments and devoid of feeling of I, my, mine, then all the actions that he takes, the flow of those actions is towards the world, because he is not doing for I, me, mine. He is doing it for others, they. So the flow of actions is towards the world. And hence these actions don't bind him, because the actions are not for him, they are for somebody else. So these actions is, the flow is not towards him, but towards the world. It doesn't bind him. And he gets liberated. On the contrary, a common man performs the action with attachment and with the feeling of I, my, own, everything, mine. Thus the flow of actions that he takes is towards him, not towards the world. When the flow of action is towards you, then his actions will definitely bind him. And he gets tied down with those and cannot be liberated. To leave the attachments does not mean to leave working. It only means that continue to work, but devoid of attachment. Detachment from attachment is the stage of highest development of your intellect, your buddhi. When your buddhi attains that stage of detachment from attachment, assume that you have attained the highest pinnacle of your buddhi. You don't bring it artificially in you. This stage start automatically You start experiencing this stage automatically with the steady development of your intellect. When you read Geeta, try to understand, do your own Manan Chintan on Geeta, your intellect starts getting developed, and a day comes when your intellect attains that highest stage of development, when you start getting detached from attachments. So this is a process which happens within you automatically. And the knowledge of Geeta definitely helps us in developing our intellect on that path of spirituality. So let us hold Geeta till the end of our life if we want to develop our intellect to that level wherein we get detached from attachments. And detachment is not an external thing. It is an internal change in you. We see many actors who do the roles of saints or demigods in cinema or TV serials. And after the shoot is over, those same very characters who were playing saints and demigods, they start smoking and drinking. So outwardly, however hard you may try to show detachment, unless it happens internally within you, it cannot come in your behavior. For that, your intellect is to be given the right samskars continually. It is like sharpening the knife. The intellect has to be sharpened with adhyatmic thoughts continually. Reading Geeta and doing Manan Chintan continually will sharpen your intellect and will take you to that stage. Okay, we go to next sloka now, 20. Karmaneva hi samsiddhimastita janakadayah lokasangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. Karmana is the work. Samsiddhim, that param siddhi, supreme destination for which we are all trying. Janakadayah, Janak and other kings like Janaka. Lokasangraha for betterment of people at large, general public. So Paramatma says in this shloka, now the God is convincing us that you cannot attain your destination, your param gati, without karma. For that, he gives the example of King Janak, the father of Sita. Kshatriya kings like Janaka, they initially did prescribed duties for refinement of their chitta, that means mind, intellect. After chitta shuddhi, when they attained self-realization, they started working for the loka sangraha me vapi. What is loka sangraha? That we'll see. That means for the betterment of people at large. Now God is cautioning us here. When you attain that Atmananda, satisfaction, happiness by yourself, within yourself, that Atmananda, without any external factors, of course, and then start doing your karma, it may so happen that you get attached to those karmas. But getting attached to karmas, that may reduce your Atmananda. While doing all karma, if you focus continually on Paramatma, then only such karmas are trouble-free for you. Otherwise, such karma may reduce your Atmananda. Small story. A newly married couple was staying in a rented house. After a year or so, they got a child. The child thought this was his house, and he was happily playing in the house. He grew, he became 14, 15 years old, and he was still thinking that the house is his house. One day, the landlord came to collect the monthly rent when this boy was at home. That time he got a shock and he came to know that this was not his house. They were only the user of the house. Similarly, God is the creator and owner of this universe, but we never think it that way. My, mine is all we think and consider and live our life assuming everything as my and mine. The people who realize self and have realized the God are busy doing karmas to remove this very confusion from the minds of these ignorant people. Loka sangraha me vapi. To persuade people to turn to the real by bringing them from the unreal path is loka sangraha. To bringing them to the path of reality. What is real life? That is loka sangraha. Uplifting of people, helping them to come on the right path is loka sangraha. And to set an example for such people by doing your own behavior is loka sangraha. Pujya Swamiji is doing loka sangraha. Collecting all people and taking them on the right path is loka sangraha. What the political leaders of today who collect groups of thoughtless people for shouting slogans and attaining their selfish designs is not Lokasangraha. It is not Lokasangraha. In fact, they are acting against the definition of Lokasangraha. They are derailing people from their path. Well, Lokasangraha means bringing the people on the right path. Okay, we go to next sloka, 21 now. This is important. Yadyadacharati shreshthas tattadevetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanuvartate. Yat means whatever. Acharati, it means he does, he behaves. Tat, that means that. Pramanam, standard. Kurute, to do, to perform. Anuvartate, to follow. So Paramatma says, whatever an ideal person does, he is followed by others as well. That means the ideal person, the great people, whatever they do, they are followed by others, common people. And whatever standard is set by that great man, that ideal person, the world follows the same standard as an ideal for them. So to follow the footsteps of famous, great, ideal personalities who have achieved something in their life, in the society, is a human nature. Young boys and girls, mostly misguided, they follow film stars. Some small-time business people, they follow some Tata, Birla, Ambani, or Adani, maybe somebody. And people like us who want to follow our Adharaniya Sanju Bhaiya or Ashu Bhaiya or some such people who are our guiding force in this path of Geeta. So the people who are followed or who become the ideals for the common people, such ideals decide how the face of the society will be. They decide how the society will be. If the society is peaceful and hardworking, you can safely assume that the ideals of that society are also peaceful and hardworking. Whatever wrong things we see in the life, in the society today, is mainly because people following wrong people as their ideals. Can you expect a peaceful society if the people start following some miscreants, some violent person as their leader? Cannot. But such ideal, that means ideal in the real sense, I mean, such people are only capable of doing Loka Sangraha. These ideals have great responsibility on their shoulders. Common people accept their behavior as a set standard for following. If these ideal people are inactive, the society will surely go down. Chanakya has said once, the nation meets downfall not due to activities of evildoers, activities of papa karmis, but due to inactiveness of good people. Good people keep inactive. And that is the reason for downfall of a country. This is a great message. We have to rise and act to save the country. Okay. Then we also see around us many families. And whatever is the behavior of a Dadaji or Nanaji and that family, the juniors, the youngsters, younger members of the family, they follow the same pattern of their behavior. So the matter here is, a brave warrior like Arjuna, if he relinquishes his prescribed karma, people would follow him. And that would be suicidal for the society. They will say, Arjuna did not do anything, so we also don't do anything. So that will be suicidal for the society. God therefore emphasizes that Arjuna, ideal people have high responsibility as the society follows them. Yadyada charti shreshthas tattadevetaro janana sayat pramanam kurte lokas tadanuvartate. Okay, we quickly take one more shloka, that is 22. In 22 shloka, Paramatma says, Name pardhasti kartavyam drishlokeshu kinchana nanavaptamavaptavyam varta evacha karmani. Paramatma says, no means not me, mine. Asti means there is kartavyam, prescribed duty. Avaptavyam, to be gained. Anavaptavyam, something which is unavailable. So Paramatma says, there is nothing, no prescribed duty for me in any of these three worlds. Swarga, Prithvi, Patal. No prescribed duty for me, Arjuna. Nor there is anything that should be achieved and it is unachievable for me. There is nothing. Yet, I engage myself in karma. I don't avoid karma. The Lord says, anything that I want from this world, is obtained effortlessly. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to perform any task in order to obtain anything. I am not the ordinary human being. My reach is beyond anyone's comprehension. There is obligation for me, there is no obligation for me, and yet you see me performing the actions. I am never inactive. Shri Krishna had nothing to gain from Arjuna's victory, nor did he lose anything by his defeat, but was still participating in the war. He was performing all actions in order to attain the goal of human life, that is fighting injustice. And right from his childhood, Krishna had fought injustice and unrighteousness. Then be it from his own uncle Kamsa, or from the demon Bakasur, or several other immoral and some nefarious characters, Krishna was divine. He was God. God refers to one who can do anything and everything. But he still fights demons with his bare hands and endearing cries when he is caught red-handed stealing butter as a child by his mother. This is because he behaves in accordance with what is the requirement of him in this human life. So he did full justice to his character and showed what is naughtiness, what is mischief, and how to pass on pranks, etc. when he was a child. He behaves as a child in his childhood, and in his youth, he does all activities performed by the youth. But whatsoever he does, he remains unattached. That is important. What a game of love he played with gopis and with Radha. And such was the depth of his love that even now, several thousand years after that, people of Vrindavan still sing songs of the eternal love of Krishna and Radha, the divine love of Krishna and gopis, even today. But this his non-attachment is clearly reflected by the fact that all love notwithstanding, once he left Vrindavan, he never ever returned to meet Radha or the gopis. He went all places, Mathura and Hastinapur and all that, and got involved in doing varieties of activities, but never did he go back to Vrindavan. People may say, what kind of love is this? But this is exactly what Krishna is showing to the world. Whatever you are, be there totally, but remain unattached from inside. No strings attached, no expectations, no bondage. Mind you, the Krishna was not cheating or lying. But despite connecting with the person at level of body, mind, or even intellect, he would remain unattached and unaffected from inside. He did not even send a letter to his parents, Nanda and Yashoda. This is total unattachment, non-attachment. But as long as he was there in Vrindavan, he was the most devoted and loving son. Krishna already mentioned in so many shlokas in Bhagavad-Gītā that whatever karma you do it perfectly, do it skillfully, do to the best of your ability. That is why Krishna is regarded as complete, perfect man to follow. People love Krishna. A complete son, a complete lover, a complete friend, and a complete guru, and a complete enemy or foe. Nothing about Krishna was incomplete or imperfect. Lord says, there is nothing in this world which I cannot attain, yet I perform karma. I do all that is appropriate at appropriate time for me. I think we stop here and we'll continue with further shlokas in the next session. Thank you so very much for listening to me. Now the forum is open for your questions.
That was an enlightening session, Bhaiya. And you dealt in detail with regard to our duties, attachment, detachment, and how to practice detachment. We will be seeing more of this in coming sessions. Now, it's time for question and answers. I request those who want to ask questions to raise their hands and switch on their cameras and wait for their turn. Please make the questions precise so that more questions can be taken. A reminder to everyone to please watch Geeta Sevi program tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. and do some seva as per your talent. So, Bhaiya, over to you for question answers. Okay. Anshuman ji, भैया को unmute करेंगे?
Didi, I am just sending a request to unmute.
अच्छा.
But Vikas Vaidya is also co-host, so I think he should be able to unmute himself.
विकास जी आप ट्राई कर रहे हैं क्या? He has sent an invite to you.
Bhaiya, can you try to rejoin, please?
Thank God, it's working now. Some technical issues. Okay. Okay, so feel free to raise your questions if you have any.
Nanak Chand here.
Talking about the Buddha avatar last time, and you also raised a question about Gautam Buddha. So we will quickly run through Dashavatar. Also, one question was asked last time. Matsya avatar was the first avatar of Lord Vishnu. Then Kurma avatar, then Varaha avatar, then Narsimha avatar, then Vamana avatar, then came Parshuram, then came Shri Rama, then came Shri Krishna, and next avatar was Buddha. Buddha is considered to be the 9th avatar of Lord Vishnu. And the next 10th avatar will be Kalki. So that Kalki will be the end of Kali Yuga. That is what Hindus we believe. So 10 avatar, Dashavatar, where these Matsya avatar, Kurma avatar, Varaha avatar, Narsimha avatar, Vamana avatar, then Parshuram, Shri Ram, then Shri Krishna, Buddha, and 10th will be Kalki. I hope this answers the question. Okay, any other questions we have?
गिरिजा रैना जी unmute करेंगे?
Didi, 1 minute. Nanak Chand, your question is done?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Didi, please unmute yourself, Girija ji. Girija ji, can you hear me? Can you please unmute?
गिरिजा रैना जी आप unmute कर पा रहे?
हाँ जी, कर लिया,
I think
कर
she's having some net issue.
लिया। हाँ जी।
Girija ji, can you
जय
hear me now?
श्री कृष्णा।
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. I am asking. Yeah, I am hearing you.
Yeah,
Jai Shri
please.
Krishna. I am hearing you. I am just asking a question that you just told that you remain detached from inside. And how is that possible that we, if our kids who are studying abroad, yeah, anywhere, how can we be fake with them that we get detached from them and doing the world work? How is it possible?
Attachment is something of our own creation. See, we have to accept one fact that our kids, my son also is settled abroad, my daughter is also abroad, but we don't get so much attachment with them now, honestly, after reading Geeta, because they have their own life to live.
Nee, just they are.
That is
that much I agree. But from the inner mind,
children, how long the parents
from the inner mind, how can we detach them from our inner mind?
Because we have taken birth for leading a life and to meet Paramatma. If we remain attached all the time in our family life only, then how can we spend time with God? We can have attachment, all right. See, ultimately, Paramatma is not saying that you should not perform your prescribed duty. You have to perform your duty towards your son, your daughter, your son-in-law, your brother-in-law, whosoever is there. But with unattached. Unattached in the sense, that's why so many examples were given today about
Me.
Lord Krishna.
Yes, yeah, I agree with that. You told that you go to somewhere when you left that place, so that is quietly you doesn't return to that place. But my question is that if our children, how
Didi, your voice is breaking.
with them?
I
That
could
is
catch
my
your question. See, I could.
Only bus.
Okay, Girijaji, I could catch your question that how can we remove our children from our attachment? That is what your question is. I am trying to tell you that our children are grown up. So long the children is a baby, okay, you have to take good care of the baby. But when the children are their own, if your children are already abroad, that means they are already matured. They don't go to live with you. So definitely you have to give them some freedom and you have to get free from them also.
Yes, that is my question.
It is a tough thing to handle. But so long as you are bonded with the attachments and you don't detach your attachment, you cannot be on your own. You will always live the life as per the expectations of other, and you will never live the life as per your own expectation. And we are not getting this life. This is a once in a lifetime, once in a million opportunity to live the life and to get one with Paramatma. If we waste our life in getting entangled with our relations and friends and society.
That is, we are all the time.
Didi, your voice is breaking actually.
Voice is breaking a great deal. I cannot.
I think Nat is not.
But I think you are adequately answered that however difficult it may appear, but unless we follow this principle of detachment from attachment, we are not going to progress on the path of spirituality. That is for sure.
I understand that thing. I understand that very much since I have joined this Geeta class since November. Yeah. That's for sure.
Didi, your voice is not coming.
Yes, I got.
Okay, thank you.
My voice is not coming.
Girija Srivastavaji, please unmute yourself.
Okay.
Girija ji, please unmute yourself. Girija ji, please unmute yourself. I'm sending a request. Please unmute. Girija ji. Sunil Bhaiya, can you unmute yourself? Bhaiya, you can ask.
Jai Shri Krishna. My question was same in continuation to earlier question on attachment. My doubt was that how well we get motivated if we get totally detached with this world. So for doing any karma, what this karma yoga says, there has to be some kind of motivation to do karma. If there is no motivation, no attachment, then there is no motivation. Then how this theory of karma yoga will go.
See, if you do your karma without attachment, and in the process, if you march ahead on the path of spirituality, which will lead you to the Paramatma, what bigger motivation you want in life? The motivation in life, unfortunately, the motivation for us in our life is all material life. We think that if I have materialistic pleasure, I have achieved something in the life. This is exactly Paramatma is trying to tell in this adhyaya, that so long as you are performing your karmas without attachment, without expectation of return and reward, then only you are doing a karma yoga. Otherwise, what you are doing for self is not karma yoga. It is not nishkam karma yoga then. Then you have to accept that I am an ordinary person who is involved in doing the karma for getting some return and reward. Full stop. I am not a karma yogi. I am due to nishkam karma. If you want to progress on the path of spirituality through nishkam karma yoga, you have to leave this return and reward expectations and then get on to the motivation. Paramatma is giving you enough motivation to get into the work.
That means one becomes the sannyasi, karma sannyasi.
Not sannyasi. Paramatma never says you take sannyas and go to Himalaya.
No, I'm telling
Again
karma
and again,
sannyasi.
again and again, God is telling that don't run away from your prescribed duty. That's why all 18 adhyayas, Paramatma is convincing Arjuna not to run away from his prescribed duty of fighting the war. Otherwise, he would have said in the first adhyaya itself, okay, you don't want to fight the war, go home. I go home, you go home. But he spent so much of time on the battlefield of Kurukshetra to convince Arjuna and to convert the humanity, the importance of karma. Geeta is written by Lokmanya Tilak. It considers Geeta as a book on karma yoga only. So Geeta is devoted to karma only. So when Geeta is devoted to karma yoga and karma only, how can we say that Paramatma is saying that you don't do karma? Karma has to be done. There is no gati without karma. We'll study those shlokas also in the next session of the same adhyay. Without karma, no one can get the gati. No one can avoid the karma.
No,
Even a
when I
sannyasi
say
cannot avoid karma.
no,
See,
when I say sannyas, what I meant, sannyas as a karma sannyasi, you do karma, but since you are not expecting anything, you are not having any attachment, so it becomes a role of a sannyasi. To that
No, no.
extent, it's become karma sannyas.
See, karma sannyasi is also a phrase used in Gita, but that karma sannyasi is not the person who has stopped doing the karma. He has taken sannyas from the karma phala, from the return reward of the karma. He has not relinquished. उसने काम छोड़ नहीं दिया है, लेकिन वो काम से अपेक्षा नहीं रखता है कि मुझे कुछ मिलेगा इससे. That is what the karma phala sannyas is. Karma sannyas, Gita never prescribes karma sannyas. Karma phala sannyas, yes, it does many times.
Geeta Srivastav, can you unmute yourself now? Okay, ask Nidhi.
Sir, my question has been answered, sir. I told you just now. It was answered by somebody previously. That is about detachment only. I wanted to know. If my son is up and he is unable to come and look after me, do you think it is wrong on his part?
See, we cannot say. The problem is our expectations sometimes become unreasonable and too high. The children studying or working abroad, they have their own surrounding, they have their own problems, and we cannot force them that they should follow our instructions and work as per our instructions only. We need to understand, if they have gone with your consent overseas for doing work or for study, then definitely we have to also consider that they may have landed in some problem there of visa or some immigration issue or job issue. There may be plenty of issues when you work overseas. With those things,
Thank you, Guru.
you cannot expect them to work as per our instructions all the time.
Okay. Thank you.
Deepak, bhaiya.
Hello.
Yeah.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
What is the right way to survive in this materialistic world? Actually, once Arjuna asked, what is the right way? Like we have to knowledge or jnana or karma. If we are following the karma, then we are coming in the detachment mode, attachment mode. And so, what is the best way?
Best way for?
To survive in this materialistic world.
Surviving in this materialist world, the best way is to keep performing your prescribed duties. And yajnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Whatever karma you do as your prescribed duties, they don't put you on the bondage. They don't create any problem, any obstacles in your path. But whatever karmas you do only with selfish intent for yourself, they are the problem for us. So whatever karma we do, we need to weigh it on this balance. By doing this karma, whether I'm going closer to Paramatma, whether I'm going far away from Paramatma. And then in materialistic life, definitely we cannot survive without a house, or these days, without some basic physical amenities in our house, we cannot survive. But the problem is, our expectations keep on increasing. and there has to be a full stop put somewhere. There
How
has
we
to be
can, how we can optimize them? How we can optimize them? Otherwise, our choices, our expectations are going to be increased, and we are seeing from our neighbors, etc. And
now you have hit the point. We keep struggling not for ourselves because somebody else has progressed more than me, and that is our worry.
no,
My relatives, my friends, my neighbors, he has progressed more than me.
Suppose we are following
Why I have not
optimum,
done?
we are following optimum path, and we are not expecting anything. And our neighbors are without doing anything, they are expecting, they are getting a lot. So
Yes.
what is the best way to survive in this materialistic world? Because we are working hard and we are not getting things because of our expectations is low.
Okay. The first cardinal principle of living a happy life is to stop comparison.
Right.
The day you stop comparison, you will find happiness within yourself. If you keep comparing, you will never be a happy person. If you have 1 crore today, you will say, I should have 5 crores. When you have 5 crores, you will say, I should be a money. That greed never ends.
Correct.
If the comparison stops, then only you can find happiness and satisfaction within yourself. Otherwise not. So decide what you want minimum to live the life. And after that, put a full stop. And then spend your time on adhyatma or jnana, wisdom development. Materialistic development, there is no end to it. Sky is the limit. But then at the end of life, people repent. And then they say, I did nothing in my life. We don't want to do that way. Particularly after getting attached with Geeta, if we also live the life as other people, then what is the difference between people who don't read Geeta and people who read Geeta? We are reading Geeta, we are understanding Geeta. So after understanding Geeta, we need to change our way of life and turn our back to the material life and make our face towards Paramatma. I don't say that you should take sannyas or you should stop working. Money is important. Health is important. Nobody can deny that. And without money, you cannot maintain good health. That is also important. But excess of money causes problem mentally and physically both. Money finds several other ways, and that increases the Rajoguna and Tamoguna in human beings. Minimum money definitely required to survive. But excessive money, it spoils the human beings. Because money finds 100 ways. And all those 100 ways will lead you to the material life, to the Indriya Sukha, to the sense gratification. And that is a dangerous thing to happen. That is derail us. That is derail us from the path.
Yes, yes.
Namaste, Ji.
Namaste.
See, my question is, you told a story regarding that one son fighting against a mother that I could not follow. Can you just give a glimpse of that?
Not fighting against the mother. That was the story of a young couple who were living in a rented house. And when they got a son, that son started believing that it is his own house. Till he grew to 14, 15 years old. And one day when the landlord came to recover the rent, that day he realized that it is not his house. It is given to him for use. So the
No, that is another story you told, is it? One son talking against mother, you allow it to go in the screen like that. One more story.
Which
You
was the
allow
story?
him to speak.
That
let
acting
it
as
go
a
in the
play
screen.
inside, and the son came in the room, and he is just talking in the same way what he was thinking. I think the Bhaiya is asking about that story.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you. What is that?
The son talking against his mother, and you told allow him to speak, let it go on the screen like that.
Let it go on the screen.
But that I think that mother or father was thinking inside, and the son entered the room, and then he just
Okay. That was an example that, see, all of us, we act based on the screenplay that is going on in our mind. We expect other characters in our life to behave as per the screenplay that is running on in our mind. I expect my wife to behave in the way I expect her to behave. I expect my son to behave in the way I expect him to behave as per some screenplay running in my mind. but every character is having his own independent screenplay running his own mind. So at a time, all the characters are running different screenplays in their own minds.
Right.
The best way is to remain detached and keep observing what everyone is thinking, how everyone is behaving. If the day you try to force your thoughts on others, you cannot succeed in that.
No, in this case, it is son, is it? We have to advise, is it?
You have to advise, son, but you see, you are expecting your
Cannot
son to
allow
behave.
him to go in his way.
You are expecting your son to follow your instructions.
Yeah.
As per whatever you are thinking.
Yeah,
going on in your
whatever I
mind.
think.
I call that as the screenplay going on in your mind, the script going on in your mind. Now
Yes,
the
yes.
son is grown up, son is having his own thoughts.
Correct, correct.
And he will express it the way he wants to do the things.
That is what happening everywhere.
That is happening everywhere. That's why the best way to handle
How to
such cases
control
is
him, how to bring him to. We are living a disciplined way. So we would
the
like
problem
them to.
is we lose our temper when our younger people, like son or daughter, they don't obey our instructions. We lose our temper, and
Yeah.
that is a mistake we do. That is a mistake we do. I have done that mistake umpteen number of times.
Allow them
So
to
that
go,
is a
they
mistake.
won't follow, is it? They won't follow
No,
our
no.
way.
You show them the mirror. You show them the mirror. If you are doing this way, this is going to happen. Are you going to do this way? You have to show them the mirror. But beyond a certain point, you cannot change a grown-up boy or a grown-up girl. There is a limit to which you can convince them logically, principally, based on whatever experience, whatever sanskar you have. See, every family has certain set of sanskars with them. The way we are born with some sanskars. And that is the only way we can try to convince that our family tradition is not like this. We need to follow the family traditions first.
We want them to follow our Sanadharma, is it?
Sanatan Dharma.
Pious way.
Dharma is a very wide thing to follow. If you go to the very strict rituals of Sanatan Dharma, I don't think the young generation will follow it so quickly or so honestly. They will say, I mean, they will not say this openly, but mentally they may say, please mind your own business. We will do the way we want. So we have to find a medium between that. We have to find a midway. If you are imposing too much of restrictions on them, they may not get into line with us. They will go totally in a different direction.
We cannot correct them, is it? That means allow them to go.
We cannot correct them, but we cannot force them.
We cannot force at the same time. We cannot correct them to our way.
We cannot expect them to 100% follow our way of thinking. They have their own independent mind. They have their independent intellect. And everybody is having the freedom to think the way he wants. We cannot force our thoughts on them.
Okay.
Yes, of course, we can tell them and never keep quiet. That also is true. But there is a limit to which we can convince them by expressing different thoughts, by painting different pictures in front of them. If this happens, this is going to happen. If that happens, that is going to happen. So we have to paint a good picture of reality in front of them. And for that, we need to be a good communicator with our children. The problem is we get angry and then the dialogue stops. That is a problem. Dialogue should never stop. In case of confrontation, dialogue is the only way to find a solution. If the dialogue stops, we met a dead end. Then no progress is expected. We have to keep trying. That is the only way.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
नानक चंद भैया
जी जय श्री कृष्ण भैया भैया मैं आई आस्क इन हिंदी
श्योर बोलिए
हाँ मेरा एक वर्ल्डली क्वेश्चन है जो बिजनेसमैन होते हैं वो आमतौर पर ये कहते हैं कि जीएसटी की चोरी इनकम टैक्स की चोरी ये तो सब चलता है तो व्हाट इज योर ओपिनियन और जो एम्प्लॉइज का एक्सप्लॉइटेशन लेबर का एक्सप्लॉइटेशन तो कंपटीशन के इस युग में मेटेरियलिस्टिक इस युग में ये सब चलता है तो व्हाट इज योर ओपिनियन इन दिस रिगार्ड
उनको बोलिए कि ये चलता है तो उसको आपका दंड भुगतना पड़ेगा वो भी आपको चला लेना पड़ेगा फिर आपका बैलेंस शीट जब खराब हो जाएगा और आपके जो कर्म है ये जीएसटी चुराना है, इनकम टैक्स चुराना या एम्प्लॉयज को धमकाना या उनका सैलरी नहीं देना या उनको कुछ ट्रबल देना, ये जो आपके कुकर्म है, ये कुकर्म ही कहे जाएंगे, ये अच्छे कर्म तो है नहीं। तो हमारी जो कुकर्म है उसका नतीजा हमको भी मिलने वाला है। आज मिलेगा नहीं तो कल मिलेगा या अगले जन्म में मिलेगा, हम छूटेंगे नहीं। एक भी कर्म बगैर रिजल्ट में जाता नहीं है, हर एक कर्म का चुकाना पड़ता है।
ठीक है, थैंक यू सर।
सौम्या दीदी।
जय श्री कृष्णा भैया।
जय श्री कृष्ण।
Yeah, my question is just related to Ram Pratishtha app. So I have to go to school. Sometimes I didn't get time to recite the Hanuman Chalisa for 3 times. So if I recite the Hanuman Chalisa after classes, means during afternoon or any time, so will it be okay, or only we have to recite it during morning time?
No, it's perfectly okay. During 24 hours, you can do it anytime. Before you go to bed, you do it. What if you have decided to do it 3 times a day? Do it before 12 o'clock when you go to the bed, or 10 o'clock. Whenever you go to bed, before that, you can do it. There's no time restrictions that you should do it at 7 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning. No such restrictions.
Okay, bhaiya, thank you.
Atul Shanbhag bhaiya, if you can open your camera, or I'm sending a request. Can you please accept that request? Go ahead, bhaiya.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, please.
Sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Like this is an extension from last week's question. Like
Yeah.
Buddha Uttarana, we know.
Yeah.
But last week I asked you, right? Like Buddha is what like Gautam Buddha.
Yes.
What we think in our this Dasavatar.
Yeah.
But Buddhism also prophesies other things against Hinduism. And on top of it, Buddhism tells that Buddha is just a title.
You see,
So
when
all
we
these-
see, when
all
we go,
these years, just a moment, sir. All these years, I was just thinking that Gautam Buddha is one of the reincarnation of Vishnu. But Buddhism thinks that Buddha is just a title, and there are thousands and millions of Buddhas born. This was my question.
No, I would say one thing, that if we consider that every time God will take avatar only in India, then it's a myth. We cannot expect that every time the God will take avatar only in India and in some part of India. God can take avatar anywhere in the universe, wherever he desires, wherever he wants. So Gautam Buddha is considered as the 9th avatar of Lord Vishnu. Now, whether the Buddhist people, they consider him as Vishnu or no, is a different issue. Because after the Buddhism started following different principles of their religion, there was some kind of rift between Hindus and Buddhists. And since everybody is having pride in his own religion, Buddhists started thinking that they are not a part of Hinduism. Well, principally, it came from India, and Buddha was a reincarnation of the avatar of Lord Vishnu. So it is a part of Hinduism only. But since people have different agendas to follow and they have different principles, then so they started saying that no, Buddhism is not a part of Hinduism. So let us put a full stop to that, because today's world is not the world of confrontation. The more we enter into confrontation with on the religious basis, on the religious sentiments, the more chaotic position we'll create in the country. So this kind of discussions, we should do a full stop, whether Buddhism is a part of Hinduism or not. They are living separately, they are following their principles separately. Let them do it. We consider Buddha as a part of Lord Vishnu only, 9th avatar of Lord Vishnu. After Sri Krishna, Buddha was the next avatar of Lord Vishnu. This is all of firm belief is. But if those people don't believe it, it's for them to believe the way they want to believe. We cannot insist that they should follow what we say. That is going to create confrontation, and that will not help anyone. But I am of the firm belief that Gautam Buddha was an avatar of Lord Vishnu. He was the 9th avatar of Lord Vishnu after Lord Krishna.
How are this like a reincarnation of Vishnu device, sir? Like Mohini avatar is also not there.
Yeah, the Mohini was not an avatar. Mohini was not an avatar. Mohini was, that was the role he had taken only to dissort the Asuras when they wanted to run away with that Amrut from Samudra Manthan. So that Mohini was an avatar. It was only a sort of fictitious role taken by Lord Vishnu to dissort those Asuras from taking the Amruta. But avatar of Lord Vishnu was Matsya avatar was first one, Kurma avatar was next one, Varaha avatar was third one, Narsimha avatar was fourth one, then Vaman avatar, then came Parshuram avatar, then came Rama avatar, Shri Ram, then came Krishna avatar, that was the eighth avatar of Lord Krishna, of Lord Vishnu, and then came
Yeah,
the...
I understand, sir. I understand all those avatar. I've been studying and listening from my childhood.
Yeah.
But how do we have all? How has this avatar been devised? That was my question. Why Mohini avatar is not there? Why Venkateshwara is not there? Why Gautam Buddha is there? That was my questions.
See,
now in Mohini avatar also, the
You see-
Lord came here to destroy
You see,
the Asuras.
you see,
Correct.
10th Adhyaya of Bhagavad Gita, in 10th Adhyaya, it is a Vibhuti Yoga of Bhagavad Gita, in which Paramatma has given 84
Pardon, sir?
Vibhuti.
Can you be? I didn't get you.
The 10th Adhyaya of Bhagavad Gita,
Okay.
it describes 84 Vibhutis of Paramatma, the opulences of Paramatma, wherein Paramatma is predominantly present.
Okay.
But every Vibhuti is not avatar of Paramatma. Pandavanan Dhananjaya. That means among Pandavas, Dhananjaya, Arjuna is me. That is the Vibhuti of Paramatma, he says. Maharshinam Bhruguraham. Bhrugu, among Maharshis, Bhrugu is me. So these are all the Vibhutis. They are not necessarily avatar of Paramatma. And all this Mohini and all that what you are describing, they cannot be an avatar of Paramatma. Avatar is taken yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. And why avatar is taken? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkritam dharma samstha padarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. If these two shloka conditions are followed, then only you can call it avatar. If for temporarily attaining something, Paramatma takes some particular position, that is not avatar. Mohini is not avatar.
Sir, this whatever you told no about this shloka, I didn't understand, sir, because I am in level 3.
This is in 4th Adhyaya.
Okay.
When Paramatma takes avatar, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham.
Okay.
When the religious principles are getting a beating and adharma is on the rise, Paramatma takes avatar for re-establishment of religious principles. And after taking avatar, what he does is Paritranaya sadhunam vinayashaya dushkritam dharma samstha padarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Every yuga he will take the birth to re-establish the dharma.
Okay.
This is called avatar. And all these avatar of Matsya avatar, Kurma avatar, Vaman avatar, they were to meet this purpose. Mohini was not for that purpose. Mohini was a temporary thing taken by Lord Vishnu, as I said, only to sort of make a fool of Asuras who ran away with that Amrut which came out of Samudra Manthan. And that they fell in love with that Mohini, and then Mohini somehow managed to take away that Amrut and give it to the Devas, gods.
Okay. So Mohini avatar and this Kurma avatar were simultaneous, is it?
No, Mohini avatar was definitely not an avatar. This is what I'm saying. Mohini was the role taken by Lord Vishnu only to make a fool of the Asuras when they ran away with the Amrut that came out of their Samudra Manthan. It was not an avatar.
No, sir. Like these were like simultaneously happening, right?
Could be. I'm not sure about the timing, but it could be.
Okay, like Samudra Manthan was a Kurma avatar. And as you told that Mohini also was the same at churning of the ocean.
It happened during Samudra Manthan only, when the Asuras ran away with that Amruta which came out of Samudra Manthan. So, to take away that Amruta from Asuras, that Mohini avatar was taken by Lord Vishnu. That is the story in mythology.
Okay.
Okay, I think we should spend other time on other questions now.
Yeah.
This mythology will continue. Any other questions anyone has about Geeta?
No, we don't have any other question now.
Okay. Okay, I think it is too late now. So we'll continue to discuss all these issues in our next sessions also. But my request to you is all these 10, 11 shlokas what we have studied today, please go through those shlokas yourself in the book of Bhagavad Gita. Try to make your own thinking about these shlokas and then refine your own thoughts about what we discussed today. That helps in understanding Gita better and better. Okay, thank you thank you very much again. Once again, Jai Shri Krishna.
I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Vikas Vaidya ji for clearing the doubts of our sadhakas. It was a great session with so many questions and answered very well with lots of patience. Yeah. And on behalf of Geeta Parivar and myself, I extend sincere thanks to the technical team consisting of Anshuman Sainiji and all those who have been at the backstage for their relentless and efficient efforts in making the session a great success. May I take this opportunity to thank all those who attended this session. Please do continue your Gita sadhana and attend these sessions to enrich your spiritual knowledge. Now, I request Anshuman Sainiji from Bangalore, native of UP, working as IT professional in the company for the Samapan Prarthana. Bhaiya joined Geeta Parivar in January 2021 and is doing seva as member of the following teams: Vivechan, Tech, Group Coordinator, and Pracharak. May we all seek the blessings of Shri Krishna. Anshuman Bhaiya, please.
Yogesham Satchidanandam Vasudevam Vrajapriyam Dharma Samsthapakam Viram Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Shri Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna.
Yes. Thank you for that beautiful rendition. May our week ahead be brighter and more beautiful. We shall see you back on another enlightening session next week. And please do wait for Hanuman Chalisa, which will be played now. And after that, Jai Shri Krishna.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी बरनऊ रघुवर विमल जसु जो दायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूता तुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन वरन विराज सुवेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिवे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिवे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस वदन तुम्हारो जस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जब कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाँ ते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाँ ते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुम्हारो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज संभारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है, प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, सबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महा सुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।